All right, thank you for coming. My name is Joshua Zamora. I am an 8th grade history teacher working on my master's in UTRGV. If we can take a second to introduce ourselves. So yourself, then you go first.
James Sullivan. I teach 7th grade ELAR and AVID.
Jasmine Herrera, Dean of Students.
All right, so I really do appreciate you guys coming. I know it's very busy this week, but the purpose of this meeting is to analyze the school's data and attendance and begin some kind of plan and incentive plan that will encourage and increase students' attendance. So
Right.
I didn't know any other way to word that. But we do have a slight problem, and I wanted us to work as a small committee before we all worked with the PBIS committee because we were all members of that. So I kind of wanted to get a game plan before we actually plan, and also get approval from our administrators before we did anything. Our goal is to be able to collaborate with one another and determine effective incentives that will increase student attendance. That's our main goal for today. Now, our goal as a campus is 97%. We are not there. And so today we're gonna kind of figure out a game plan to get as close as possible, if not hit 97%. It's going to be a work in progress. So first, I pulled all of the attendance ratings from table reports.
Can we put these?
No, I can work backwards.
Okay.
So I did all the attendance reports through Taper, and this is what I pulled. So in 2013, 2014, we were at 97.2%. Now, I wanted to do a correlation to see if attendance did affect our student scores, but it's kind of hard because each test is different, and as we continue on our years, our star results, or our star test gets a little bit complicated, and I can't remember for the life of me if tax was still in this or were the year before.
No star.
It was still star, right?
It was fun.
Yeah. So as you see, we gradually started going down. So we went from a 97.2, and then we went to 96.5, 96.3, 96.5. And if the school year were to end right now, we're at 96.45. Compared to the district.
Wait, that was last year.
Oh, sorry, I messed up. That should be 18-19. 18-19. Looking at district stays the same. We're at 95.8 as of that. I don't have any data for district this year. Again, I have to correct that. State, we don't have that either. But if you look at state is really low. So we're still above state average, but we're not what we want to be. So we kind of had to figure out some kind of plan. Now to break it down even more, I know the look is going to be different because it's going to look like it's a huge gap, but it's by going by 0.2s. I have this broken down by 6 weeks. So this is 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade. 6th grade is rocking it, and so is 7th grade. We only have the drop right here. If you look at 8th grade, there's a significant difference. Our last week, that was this week, that was suspended in the know, that we went down to 96.08. And everyone else is averaging around 96.8, 96.6. So this is hurting us to getting our goal. Any pop out so far?
I knew 8th grade was the worst. I didn't know it was the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah, and from the, I received an email from Ms. Ruth Purvis, and she sent us a comparison chart as well for the previous week.
Mm-hmm.
And so, according to that, we're the lowest as a school with a 93.7%. So we're rated the lowest from all the middle schools in Irving.
Do they compare it to other schools as well, or is it just middle
It's
schools?
just middle school.
Yeah, we're still likely above state.
93 is the low.
So off of 93 on the in the know, do you know how Mr. Clark projects what we have at 96.4?
From in the no, but we run reports and
Okay.
they're pretty accurate, but when you go back 2 weeks, everything has been finalized, like all the sick notes and everything. So as of right now, a week ago, we are at 93, as a campus, 93.7%, being the lowest middle school.
So the 96 on there would be something that after we conducted all the exclusives.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Right.
What is the highest?
The highest is 96.39, Austin Middle School.
Interesting. What is, I'm only doing this because on our meeting with social studies, what is Days of Allah?
Days of Allah, 96.21.
Okay.
So
This-
we're like
Way low.
way low. The one school up, like just a couple points above us is Bowie
Wow.
with 93.81, but everybody else is 95, 96.
Because it's interesting because Days of Allah, they score the highest pretty much on all our social studies scores.
Yeah,
So I'm kind of interested to see if their scores have, or their attendance has changed.
yeah. But we can, but keep in mind, this is just a weekly average.
Yeah, but still, like if we were
But that's
hitting that
pretty bad.
93
Yeah.
at 1 week.
Yeah,
Geographically, is Bowie closest to us of the schools?
No.
No, Crockett's would be. Yeah, Crockett's,
And Sam?
and so, yeah.
Lamar's close too. Anyway,
No, you're
another
good.
thing too though, like I know that these past couple of weeks, we've had a lot of kids go home sick,
Sick.
like
And-
legit students that are sick.
And so that's kind of what that we're going into the attendance factors. So I'm gonna sit down because we're gonna kind of just informally do this, like
Okay.
kind of just talk it out. But one, you just identified it, but identify student factors that could cause low attendance rates. We know the flu has been, it hit us hard. I don't think I've had one period in 2 weeks that I'm not missing one student.
Right.
And even teachers, like teachers are getting sick.
We've been hit really hard on.
Perfect cough.
Especially. I feel like it's been a sick year for kids.
It has
Teachers
been.
are dropping
Yeah.
like flies.
But
Yeah.
could y'all think of anything else that could cause like our attendance to go even lower besides sickness? Because if you look at in the note that Mr. Carson's out, we haven't been anywhere near that 96.8 mark. It's been pretty
I feel like his averages are not accurate.
accurate. So I mean,
Because
wonder-
I don't know how he pulls them, but the ones I pulled are not those.
so would you say? Well, obviously, would you have more data for other like weeks and stuff, or is it just?
Yeah, I mean, I would be able to pull any
Because that'd be good
previous
to like to do if we do this again. Well, when we do this again
Yeah.
for PBIS.
for
to kinda-
PBS. Oh, for sure, we can do that.
Okay.
But some of the factors, I think something that I've run into a lot working with RTI, some of those concerns are attendance.
Yeah.
Well, you know, the kid isn't here enough for us to be able to know
Mhm.
what he's missing.
Marco Ibarra, can you please come to the front office? Marco Ibarra, please come to the front office.
And that's one of the situations. So I have a particular student in the 8th period. He just came into my class, and he's been in my class for like 3 weeks. I probably have had him for 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
He either is here all day, or here till like 5th period, and then he's out.
Right.
And I know once
Yeah.
that 9:30 mark comes, but
Yeah.
still.
Yeah, sorry.
No, you're fine.
I was just gonna say, so from working with a lot of the kids that are in RTI, when I am able to speak to the parent, a lot of the times there's really no value in education.
Yeah.
So, parent says, okay, you know, I'll bring him in, or he needs to stay and help me at home. You know, there's multiple reasons, but the bottom line is there's not that much value in education. I'm not saying all parents, but a lot, that's the case with those kids. Another thing that I've found is this year we've had a lot of students complain about the environment, about the learning environment.
Okay, so they can kind of go in the culture piece.
Yes, and no, I don't wanna go, like, literally had to get one of our officers to go to the car, get the student out of the car, and bring him to school, like crying, I don't wanna be here.
Do you notice that more in 8th grade?
One 8th grader, but a lot of 6th graders.
That's interesting, they're the ones keeping us up.
Yeah.
And GT,
Really.
yes.
So that could go. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
and we do a lot with the amount of rigor. I don't know anything about
Yeah.
what happens in GT, but
Stressful.
it's a lot. It's a lot, but
Stressful, yeah.
that's what I mean. Like the rigor of GT gets them, because I know I have kids that come in 8th period who are so stressed out from another class. Like, oh, I got the R4D. I have this. I have that. And it just puts a lot. But I mean,
Right.
GT.
And based on the demographics of our school,
Mm-hmm.
about 70% are Spanish speakers, low economic households.
Yeah.
And like a lot of these parents aren't home when the kids have to go to school. Like they have to be at work at 5 and they get off and they work their second job. So there's some maybe value education, but because of their living conditions are not able to really supervise their kiddos. Because a lot of our 8th graders, the chart they showed us, which that's our biggest concern,
Yeah.
these kids are usually the bigger sibling that has to take care of everybody else.
Yeah.
Because parent has to, has to support everybody else. So the parent's doing that while the older sister or brother has to stay home, take care of the other ones. So if they get sick, they're not coming because they have to take care of them. Or, it's
a lot.
Yeah, and I find this a lot when I'm making those phone calls and talking to the parents. Oh, well, I can't make it because I have to go to this job, and then I work overnight, and so it's just they're asking a 13 or 14-year-old to take the responsibilities of an adult, get up in time, and walk themselves to school on a day that's 30 degrees out. So, right, and so I know we have a lot of communities nearby, but what about the ones that are like 2 miles away?
Yeah, because do you know their district, like, what's our zone?
Our boundaries,
Yeah.
I'm not too
I know we're
sure,
south of the highway.
Yeah.
but we do get, we
'Cause I think
have
we went
kids
up
that
to-
are,
Was it, the one we went on the field trip over there, it's
Yeah.
an elementary school, I can't remember.
it's like the Oaks
Yeah,
mobile homes.
I know kids stay across north of it, but they're not supposed to, right?
Right,
Mine
and,
is the
right,
highway.
and then you have kids across the freeway
Yeah.
that have to,
Cross,
those kids
cross.
that have to cross the freeway and literally have to walk here. Moms, when we speak to parents, they say, oh, we get them an Uber to get them under the radar for CPS, but we know that's not the case because we see those students
Yeah.
walking. So, right, so you find out a lot of information while you're making these phone calls, you're setting up these kids.
So-
Because ultimately, attendance
Mhm.
issues is gonna affect academically. It's just going to. It directly
And it's-
related.
Not to put you on the spot, but do we have any, I know like we have a money guest, but do we have any kind of other programs besides the bus that we've talked about or can it be done? I know,
As far as transportation,
anything,
Well,
so sure.
not really, because parents say, no, we'll take care of it. So you can't, you stop there, unless you wanna proceed with a CPS report,
Gotcha.
right? And so, also, okay, and we're still talking about factors.
Yeah,
We're still talking about
factors,
factors,
yes.
right? Okay, so the demographics of our campus, I feel are important. The value of education, I feel like, are definitely impacting that. Just everybody being sick is another thing. The culture of your campus. If it's a place where you feel safe and where you want to be, and the teachers show you love, your friends, are good, then you'll want to come.
Yeah.
Despite what you have going on at home. So I feel like that's another that it contributes to how they feel and.
But as we are, I'm jumping a little bit ahead, but
Okay.
we're still going to stay on the
I just wanna
factors,
make
but I
sure-
kind of want to jump a little bit. So what can we do to bring to PBIS to ensure, because at our last meeting at PBIS, we actually talked about what can we do for teachers to make them, because sometimes I think teachers get burned out and that affects their classroom. And I'm not using that as a step stool or a pedestal or whatever, like crutch, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
But it does play a factor, with the craziness, sometimes teachers get.
Kids feed off our energy.
Exactly.
If the teacher doesn't wanna be there, the kids don't wanna be there.
Exactly. And I'm not saying like we have all teachers like that, but we do have a few who literally work in and out, and then burned out, and that could play another factor to it. And again, not saying that's the only factor, but that could play a piece. So what can we do as a PBIS to raise that culture, to know that teachers are welcome just as much as our students are? And it's just something to think about.
Right. Well,
Because I know we have the teacher bugs, but how many teachers are actually utilizing it?
they're not.
Exactly. So what can we do to do that? And we can get to that when we get there.
Okay.
But just something to think about as we're going.
Yes.
One quick question about the factors. Does
Yeah.
suspension in SRC affect our attendance? Because we're counting on absent every time they're suspended in
That's a good
SRC.
question.
No.
And we've had a high number of that this year.
No.
Okay, that affect our
It doesn't
attendance,
affect
right?
attendance.
So when they go,
It
even though we
goes,
kinda.
it's a different code.
Okay.
So after our
No, no.
attendance processor, Ms. Martin, goes over and inputs all the sick notes, all the suspensions, all ISS,
Okay.
then those are official numbers.
Oh, okay.
That's how we get our
Gotcha.
percentages, or
Alright.
after all that is finalized.
And that's why we have.
And that's all based on the 9:30 report, right?
Correct.
Now, I've talked to Kaufman and I talked to Clark before coming here, and they couldn't make it because of everything else that's going on. But kind of working and figuring out what can we do to identify the students who are the heavy hitters. Like, there's some kids that don't show up at least once a week or twice a week. But we have some students who, they just show up when they want. I'm gonna be here for first and fourth. I wanna run to the restroom, text my parents, have them, you know. So is there a way we can identify who our heavy hitters are
Yes,
and how?
there's a report.
That's it,
Attendant-
just a report.
There's a
Not bad.
report, yeah, attendance 1086, you pull that and you'll be able to,
So
you identify. So,
could we,
every student, I know as a campus, our goal is 97%.
yeah,
So, for our students, by law, they're required to have 98% attendance, right?
mhm.
That's it, for the entire school year. So you can pull this report and it'll list all the students that are under 98%.
So is that something you can pull?
Yes, and so you can target, so you can look at those kids and you can highlight. I mean, you can print it, highlight it, and you can see all the students. Some students have 40% attendance rate and we're in February. So for a student to be able to have a 98% attendance rate at the end of the school year, they are not allowed to miss more than 18 days. That's all they get. So if, for example, if you're a student and you had already missed 18 days, your percentage would be lower than 98%.
Yeah.
So you would be a student that would be referred to our truancy officer, and he would start working with you and your parents to let you know, hey,
Do you know if that process has already been started?
definitely,
It has. I was gonna talk to him about coming in here as well, but
yes. So
you know,
he,
he's in and out like crazy, cause isn't he over?
unsung hero. on
Yeah,
campus.
well, he's, since I'm right in front of him,
Right.
he's here in the morning, and the next thing you know, he's out,
Yeah.
and he's doing his rounds, so I didn't want to make him feel.
And
like-
he's over a lot of campuses,
Yeah.
but he does a really good job at talking to the students and the parents, explaining to them, okay, your case is now being referred to the court,
Mhm.
and now
We'll
you're,
get a subpoena or something.
right, and so there's a process for those students, so it's not like a positive, I mean, it's more punitive, it's not like an incentive, hey, come to school, you're gonna get chips. It's punitive, it's like,
Yeah.
if you don't come, you're
Yeah.
going to jail, right, like,
Yeah.
that's, or a fine,
When does summer school come into play for absences?
it doesn't,
It doesn't at all?
you have, they
But
start,
when
we start doing detentions, Friday schools,
To make
Saturday
up.
schools to make up those hours. But think about it, how is that really helping them? I
Yeah,
mean,
cause
it's
you're gonna have the materials for it, and the
Exactly.
materials are
You're just-
sometimes just,
wasting your time,
Yeah.
because that time that they missed during those content classes, that's the time they really need to make up. Is
Yeah.
really a meaningful time with,
Right.
math teacher for 2 hours, go over whatever you're missing, go over some unit tests, whatever. Really make sure that,
They're
but
just sitting there making up hours and they've all missed different days, so they've missed different things.
it's
and
just,
then-
it's not, I mean, it's a
Kind of
law
provided.
thing, like a thing that, just to comply,
Yeah.
just a compliance thing.
you get the attendance, but you don't get the information.
Right.
So I think we're on agreement that there's several factors, economic, help me out, like economic, we have parents, teachers, and then we also have the diversity. And I think we can all be in agreement as well as 8th grade should be our primary focus.
Yes.
I do want to see how he pulled that data, because that's where I got the current data from, was
Mhm.
from the in the know, and all the other ones were tapers, so that was from the state.
You said that
Yeah.
takes a couple weeks to
No, I can
process the.
do it, I mean,
She does all.
I sure do.
So 8th grade should be the focus, but 8th grade is also a beast of his own.
Yeah.
So let me get to the next slide. So on this one, I kind of have it into two kind of parts. Like come up with the ideas that will help our attendance rates, and then what actually is going to happen, and how, I mean not happen, but what is actually going to get approval. Because I think as a PBIS committee, we do a really good job dishing out like these wonderful ideas, but then at the end of the day, we don't get the approval that we need, or we don't have the appropriate help. So, I mean, this is gonna be like a little multi-step kind of thing.
Mhm.
But first, the incentives that we have right now, do you wanna talk about what
Okay, so as far as right now, we do the daily, jeans challenge. So every day, I pull a report, whatever grade level has the highest attendance rate earns the letter. You know, just when whoever spells jeans first gets the jeans on the following week, and we all know that that's usually sixth grade.
Sixth grade.
So it's kind of like, I'm not gonna get it anyway, you know, type of deal.
So how can we, or did you want to say something?
I just wanted to, it was just a quick look at the graph, but I'm pretty sure the highest that we've had in a while was that year we had teams, and we were constantly praising students for just existing in school.
I would wanna say, I pulled the data, I just put the wrong one on there. I wanna say that was 96.6 or 96.5 something. And I did like the teams thing too.
Okay, so I just pulled the data for last week,
Uh-huh.
and for seventh grade, 93.96. Sixth grade, 92.77. And eighth grade, 91.95. As a campus, it's at 92.89. This is what the campus operator sent us.
It
This
sounds
is-
more accurate than that.
This is the accurate number, not what you put,
Wonder
what we saw on the
Yeah,
internet.
so that is.
That's why I'm telling you, it's not.
Yeah, I would question why we have 96 and then no, unless there's some other contribution that we don't know about. But that'd be a good discussion I can have with him at a later time.
Not in the know.
Yeah, it just, literally, I got, the past 6 weeks in the nose and I just pulled the data from the in the know because, you know,
Right,
we get it every Monday. But that's what we had, so I just went with it, you know, trusting the numbers, but to know that we're at 92, like, that's huge.
Our rate for yesterday was 93 as camps. So, and that's from Ms. Martin.
That's insane.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
I know we have the jeans pass, but
So,
like, I talked to Kafa before coming here, she gave me an idea, she told me she told you about it, but it was talking about a pie. I don't know, did she talk to you about pies?
no,
So, you break the pie up into so many sections, I can't remember what section she said. For each day, a student is, you know, the highest or 100%, you get a slice of pie, not an actual slice of pie, right?
Emily Martinez, if you're in the building, can you please come to the front office? Emily Martinez, if you're in the front office, please, if you're in the building, please come to the front office.
But she said, like, they earn pie, and it's just a picture of a pie, and they add it on. Once they got a whole pie, whoever gets, so you break it up 6, 7, 8. So if the 8th grader gets the whole pie, during the pepper out, like how many pies they have is how many pies they throw at the principal.
That's awesome.
that would be great.
And so, like, we would have to get the logistics to say we need 100%. I think that's a far reach,
Definitely.
because we have 1 or 2 who just would, I say 1 or 2, but we have a good handful of students who would not make it. But would we want to kind of manipulate that number and make it like that 97% since that's what we want?
Janae Robinson, if you're in the building, please come to the front office. Janae Robinson, if you're in the building, please come to the front office.
I think our reasonable number attainable would be 98,
98.
since that's like the district goal.
So I'm
plus, like,
hoping that once this flu season kind of goes away, that we're kind of, you're good. We just talked about the flu.
yeah,
But that was one idea. So like each grade level, and it will be Coughlin, Fincher, and all day. If their grade level gets so many pies and there is so much time period, that's how many pies they throw at the administrator at the thing. Now we don't necessarily have to do that. We can take that idea and kind of manipulate it. We can do it. You got very special powers in finding things, but I don't take.
Just a dessert party.
Yeah, a don't take. But I think with jeans, starts off good and it's great, but once it's like the only incentive, there's really
yeah,
nothing left.
yeah. And then, yeah, there's really nothing besides that.
If What if,
that I do.
could jeans change to free dress entirely?
And that's what the other thing though, because we had talked about doing
I don't know.
weekly, remember the weekly raffles
Mhm.
in the cafeteria?
Mhm. It's just hard to find the time.
But if we break it up in the PBIS committee and delegate and make sure like this is what needs to be done and set our stuff, then I don't think that would be a problem. But you have to take yourself out of the picture, because you already do a lot.
Yeah, but that's the thing. That's the thing to more.
Yeah, I understand.
Taking-
If I have to, like.
Taking me out of the picture, then is it gonna get
But
done?
we're not necessarily taking you out, just not giving you the majority amount of weight. Because you do the RTI, you do the after school, you do the mentor program, you do the,
Yeah.
I mean, the list goes on and on.
It sure
If we
does.
have, if we have like, we have about 20 members, right? At least, or at most 20 members. If we find somebody and say, like, there's a few that you automatically have to eliminate because they're already doing other kind of.
I think Ms. Walker might be a good candidate.
So, I mean, there's just something to think about.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you do.
So we can do the raffles during lunch.
But
like-
how is that gonna get approved? And that was.
Yeah, I mean, it got approved. The only thing that, and I did it one day, but the thing is, it was just like the treats, like we gave away treats and stuff. But if we could do free dress, that would be better. But I don't know if that would be,
I got it, thank you.
if that would be approved. It would be, I told Mr. Clark that it would make a difference in 8th grade.
I think so, because
That's what they want.
Jeans Day is not, Jeans Day is
And free
not,
dress.
yeah, is not going for them. If they're gonna wear Jeans Day, they're gonna try to
Right.
get through it and not get caught, or if they do get caught, they already have pants in their backpack.
Like, jeans is cool, but it doesn't help them express their individuality, which is all.
That's what they're finding now.
Right, because, and they're gonna be in high school in a couple months, and they're not gonna have to wear uniform, so they're trying to.
That's what I'll fail. With the raffle though, I would, this is just mine, if it's gonna be weekly, I think that needs to be 100%. You have to be here for 5 days straight.
Oh, yeah. That's what I've pulled. These are the students that were here all week last week.
And could you even, and this is far reach, I'm just reaching this, hopefully I grab something. Could we do like an incentive badge? You're here 5 days a week, we have a special badge like our Eagle Pass.
Ms. Martinez, if you're in the building, please come to the front office. Elizabeth Martinez. Oh, I'm sorry, Emily Martinez. If you're in the building, please come to the front office. Again, Emily Martinez. If you're in the building, please come to the front office.
So like a Eagle Pass that we have for all A students, but for attendance, and it's only good for 1 day. Like you earned it on Friday, that Monday you pick what you want. Lunch in the Eagles X with your friends, 1 free dress day, this, when we can create that incentive list. And then they have to turn it in. If it's 8th grade, the one we're focusing, we can turn it into my social studies teachers. I'll take the responsibility of that one, and they'll give it to me at PLC. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Could that happen? Or is it a possibility? Knowing that since you work with.
Badge.
Well, so you know how we have the Eagle Pass?
Yes.
You don't need to actually have like a pass.
You mean like the
or-
lanyard?
Yeah, like a lanyard, that's
Okay,
what I meant.
okay.
Sorry, my bad.
Yeah.
But like, we have a attendance lanyard that's only good for 1 day. So they get it on that Friday.
But what do they get?
But that's what we're talking about, like, you know how the Eagle Pass has the incentives on the back?
Yeah.
And they have the exact same thing, but they only get to pick one for that Monday. So is it free dress, eating in the Eagles Nest with your friends? And once they redeemed it that Monday, they turn it in and that's it. So like,
Oh, okay, yeah,
if it's a free dress day that they want on Monday,
Yeah.
they give it to one of my social studies teachers last class period,
Mm-hmm.
and then, or I find out what their 8th period class is, and have them either bring it to me or just something.
Yeah, it could be done. It could be done. You know how we can do that?
How?
You know how teachers nominate a hero and a student of the week? And the attendance honor goes to, I don't know, it could be 5, 6 students that they could have perfect attendance, or if we wanna target the students that need improvement, or that have shown improvement in attendance, you know.
I think
They could nominate students, and then that way, we could have a little certificate, and they get their little lanyard, that's why, that way we don't have to go like finding them.
This is from a drawing, right?
yeah.
Yeah,
So I just think with the free dress, with 8th grade, if that's what we're gonna target, Hot Cheetos out the picture because that is their number one go-to, that's what they all have in their backpacks. Jeans Day, it's just, I don't see that
yeah,
as
I don't
exciting.
see, Jeans Day is not.
Like you see 6th graders or you see teachers, we get a Jeans Day, we're all out.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
8th
Kids just
grade,
want to express themselves.
Yeah.
because Jeans doesn't do it.
Yeah,
so
I think that that's a possibility that can be done.
and like I said, when we kind of come up with this list, we'll then address the PBIS committee and kind of break this up, so it doesn't feel like, I just felt like us three, since we're all in the PBIS committee, we can eliminate all the confusion now, and then when we get there, like, this is it, and then we work together to figure out what are we gonna do and who's gonna do it. What are you thinking?
No, I'm still thinking about
Okay.
your suggestion.
Anything else?
So on the incentives, you have free dress, maybe Eagles Nest. How many does the Eagles Pass have? 5 incentives? 4 or 5?
I think it's like 5, leave early,
Oh, leave
Library.
class
library,
Dress week,
and sit with your friends.
yeah, Eagles Nest and all that.
first in line privileges at lunch.
Cause it works well with your, with you guys, RTI, people. The one, you know, the Eagle Academy, don't they get something?
No.
Cause,
They only make it to Dean's List if
oh,
they
that's what I meant.
improve in RTI.
Okay.
Yeah.
So free dress day, eat with friends. What do we want to do, eat with friends / teacher?
I don't think that we should just make them pick one, I say just get them all on Monday. That way,
So
that's
not
gonna be
one-
really hard to be like, oh, well, you
Yeah.
left for lunch early, so you don't get to go to the library. I mean, I
Okay.
think that's too much,
Yeah.
So
to
all.
micromanage.
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, I just didn't want it to be a replacement of the Eagle Pass, because then the Eagle Pass is like.
Well, it's one day versus a week.
True.
And
Was it a week or is it?
Eagles Pass is a whole 6 weeks.
Yeah, that's right.
Like,
that's
the
right.
only thing that they have for a week is
Free
the
dress.
dress, the dress. But
So,
it's one day versus 6 weeks,
so
so.
we would do free
I think
dress,
that's okay, make it a smaller version of the Eagle Pass. That encourages them, like, I want more of this too.
yeah.
Help them with that.
Do you already have the template for this?
Yeah.
So we can just edit?
Yeah, just make it attendance pass winner.
Alright, so then we have free dress, eat with friends, what other incentive as an 8th grader would you like?
Free dress, eat with friends,
Go home and
Yeah.
leave class early
open campus for lunch.
with pursuit.
Sorry.
Very good.
Oh, we're gonna do lunch at the sundial with friends.
Ooh,
Sunday?
outside lunch,
Yeah, if it's
that'd
a
be great.
nice, it's nice out.
No, good timing. now.
I would like to be out there. I
Yeah.
can watch them. I need some
Get your,
vitamin.
vitamin D, what is it? I'm not a science teacher.
Vitamin sun.
Vitamin some.
Sundial lunch. Now, this is another one that my screen's going horrible because of the sun.
Can't see
What
it.
about, I know this is not gonna get approved, but this would be, A1 would be their music.
What about
Sorry.
music in hallways?
No, I wanna do hallways.
Sorry, can you say it again?
So I know this is like the furthest I've ever reached, but music is 8th grade's escape right now. The number one question I get whenever they're doing solo work is, may I listen to music? And with our policies, we say no, but is it one of those
Put it
things,
in there.
can we put
We
it
can ask.
and ask? Yeah.
Let's worry about that anyway, 'cause it becomes an entitlement thing. Like,
Here-
like,
But no, like, you only get, like, if you go to the Sundial for lunch, like, you can listen to it at lunch.
That's what I'm saying, yeah, okay.
And,
yeah.
but not in the hallways, not with teacher's
Okay.
classroom, you can't say, oh,
For
I'm
sure.
doing my work, I got music pass.
Phone privileges at lunch.
Yeah.
Okay, how about this?
Yeah, that's good.
Here's the biggest thing. It's a huge battle. The phone is a huge battle. The
Mm.
headphones is a huge battle, right?
Yes.
But in high school, they're getting ready to be in high school, and that is okay.
But how is it, it's not okay in classrooms, right? Pretty much.
In high school,
I don't know how high school
Yeah, they
works.
pretty much do anything they want.
if it helps you work, if listening to Beyonce will help you do math, then that's what you will do in high
Yeah.
school. So I don't
That
like
makes sense
that.
because our teacher, when we went to the field trip for Irving, the art
I
teacher
know
said
what it's
that,
about.
he lets them do art while they're listening to music, because he says that expresses themselves.
For sure.
But
I don't think it's good that everybody gets so crazy about headphones. If the students listen to music, don't let them listen to music. If the student is on social media, that's a problem.
yeah,
And you as a teacher
Have
should
to
monitor that.
Most classes were able to do pretty well with it last year. It's just a couple classes that got out of control when the kids took
but
it over.
if we be honest, like I don't have much cell phone problems in my class, but from other classes you can hear from the hallways that when they come out of the classroom.
And it's a small hallway, you can see them coming out.
Yeah.
Take it out, okay.
Alright, so we got free dress raffle, 5 days straight, attendance, 1-day badge, and so far I got free dress, eat with friends, leave class early, with teacher permission. When you wanna do that with teacher approval?
Yeah.
Cause.
Yeah,
they
we already specified that on,
Okay.
not just like, I'm gonna walk out.
Yeah, it's like,
My badge
my
says
bad
like-
says I'm out.
There's always straight like a couple times, like, chill out.
I'm leaving 15 minutes.
Hey, you got 5 minutes, chill out.
Sundown lunch and then music during lunch. What else?
I think we're good,
I
let's
love
stop
that.
right
I
there.
think, cause that's the number one thing.
We're gonna
Being
stop
outside
right
is so
there.
cool.
Yeah. I'm the one of that. No, I've been here all this time. Any other ideas?
What's our number at? Five?
Snack of their choice.
So right now we have 1 and 2, but with the snack of choice, do we have funding?
Yeah,
Where? Where?
Me.
No.
I'm serious. PBIS,
So PBS community snacks.
everything I sell on Eco Williams, I have boxes of stuff.
Mhm.
So
Not expired.
Snack. We call it PBIS snack attack. So I can't think of anything
Choose
right
your thing, choose your,
now. Choose your snack.
choose your.
Poison. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I guess.
DC has his gamers club. I wonder lunch and video games in the army room.
Ooh, I like that, cause I opened part of that real fast.
If that's
I mean, I'm already
talk to
have,
DC about it.
I already have it.
The army room.
Once a week, maybe.
Yeah. That's just a 1-day thing anyway. Right?
I actually thought about
It's
that.
Monday.
And it's
You already have
Monday,
Monday.
Yeah, so
very good,
We'll play some
video
Smash.
game,
bien hecho.
video
I
game.
contribute something.
Is it video game lunch?
Yeah.
Okay. So I kinda also.
I'm thinking
thought
about
that
girls.
too.
Like, they're not into video games,
Oh, there's a good chunk.
They don't have to pick it anyway, though.
like two.
Yeah, but it's not like, we're trying to reach as many kids
Yeah,
as possible, and if you were to look at the list of the kids who are heavy hitters,
Oh,
we probably target some.
you know what I'm gonna purchase
What's that?
that girls like? Karaoke machine.
So I'm gonna put it, but I'm gonna put a question mark because you don't got it yet.
I don't have it yet. We're gonna get it
I'll jump in that.
We're gonna
See
get
some
it
Prince.
on Thursday
I was thinking more of
with my money. The Walmart thing?
No,
Mhm.
no.
Yes,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
happening,
nice. So you got a good donation for Walmart.
You better get that done, shoppers.
cause I have a lot of things to do. And so, go to Walmart as well.
So I like that idea.
I think that, we can stop there. I think we're good there.
So you think if we present this to Mr. Clark,
He's gonna say yes, 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 yes,
now,
just like that.
so, I mean, you just hit number 2, like, we don't even have to talk about it now, we just hit yes, 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 not right. So I will get with Clark, cause I will debrief with him later, typically when I do, my observations, I sit with him the next day and kinda just work with him and,
Well, can you let me know when you meet so I can
yeah,
give him my opinions?
And let me know how it goes.
well, we can, since we're
Sorry.
technically, we can do it for a period if he doesn't have a meeting. I know it's your conference, it's mine too, but, or we can do it after school.
I'm down for whatever. I meet with Shive most days anyway.
Nice.
It's a good plan.
So I really do like it, because, I mean, if we can hit, with the video games, I mean, pretty much the whole list, you hit different angles of 8th grade. Because there's some kids, you can put a video game in front of them, they won't touch it, they'd rather pick up a book than you know, play a video game. And this is a side note, because going off your video game idea, I also thought about that too, where you have perfect attendance, but you throw this tournament. And so like, if you have perfect attendance, you can sign up for this tournament, we can make it a fundraiser, we can not make it a fundraiser, I know we're going a little bit left field on this, but just like, trying to think, what can we do for our school to make it welcoming? Like, what can we do to make it better? You know, hearing that you said the kids are crying not to come to school, that hurts. That stings.
I agree.
Yeah, if you look at our survey,
Yeah, I agree.
our price survey that we took.
I have to look at that data. I haven't seen it. My screen is horrible right now. Let me go to the next one. So I really wanted to go to another room, but I was like, oh, the sun is perfectly fine, but it's not. So I have time frame up here, and it's really hard to see, but we're in February, right here, and excuse me, it'll take me about 3 months or so, give or take, of school left. So how early can we start implementing these?
As soon as we get approval.
When do you think we could meet?
Well, I'm hoping I get approval by the end of this week. If we get approval at the end of this week, that means we have to have a PBIS meeting sometime this week, so we can break it up, because I don't want it to be 3, I want it to be like the PBIS committee, not Herrera, not Sullivan, not Zamora.
This might be too late, and maybe we want to start it earlier, but how about post-spring break that week?
Is it the week of
That's
11th,
Well-
18th? So this is spring break?
No, 11th spring
No.
break, the week
Oh.
after is 18th.
The 8th through the 18th.
So this is our goal?
Unless that seems too late from where we're at now.
Well-
It just depends, because right now, even if we put this instead of in 2 weeks, if the flu still hits us like it's been hitting us, we're still gonna have that huge jump. Like I said, I haven't had a full class of perfect attendance in 2 weeks.
And then, something that we always try to be mindful of, and the reason I scheduled it there, March 7th, the day before spring break,
Uh-huh.
that Thursday,
Yeah, that's right.
yeah. So, like I said, a lot of families wanna travel and do all
Oh, yeah,
that
that's
stuff.
true.
So that's
But
what
we also have, sorry to interrupt you, but we also have the 18th off, if we have no bad weather days.
Right, and so that's why I put the teacher versus student basketball game that day, to be like, oh, just kinda
December.
pump it up, yeah.
But
so
I mean,
that's-
honestly though, if we do it that week, Sullivan said, like that 19th and on, that's gonna be our heavy hitter days, cause I know this is gonna be social studies benchmark, I know there's a couple other benchmarks that we're gonna be taking. This is gonna be straight up, interventions
yeah,
all
so
the way
we
through
want-
May.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
we have to get them conditioned to be here every day, cause if they miss one day of STAR,
Yeah,
It's a good heavy hitter week, and it's also a good get you started on a 4-day week.
and if we can, the ones that we get approval of, if it's not so much, maybe we can just start dropping one by week. Kinda like filling the Pell 1 week at a time. Like, we're gonna start off with the video game idea. And then next thing we'll do is the, eat at lunch, cause once we get past February, it is Texas, so we don't know from day to day what we're gonna have. But like the sundial, the eating with friends, maybe we can start that, but the heavy hitter, the music, the, badge, we hit on this week and get them kinda pumped. And we are targeting 8th grade, but we can also use this instead of for 6th and 7th.
you can incentivize for the grade level, if they reach 90%, then, you can sit wherever you want during lunch, getting them ready for high school.
What is it, March? I'm putting it on here because if not, I'm gonna forget. March 19th, and I'm a market person. I'll put week of. And so hopefully again, we'll get this approved by the end of the week and we'll go from there.
Okay.
I think we're almost done. So kinda wanna just kinda reflect over our stuff. I think we did a good job already reflecting over it. But do you wanna add anything else in closing remarks?
I think we have some good ideas. Later on, we should try to anticipate some questions PBIS will be asking.
That's a good idea, and I don't wanna keep y'all longer than you have to. I know you're not feeling well and you have things to do. So I really do appreciate it, but that is something we need to figure out, because we do have
There's gonna be questions.
very
Like open to questions.
I mean, if you think about it, if we do the
What if
music thing,
type stuff that
yeah,
we can
and we have
Well,
a few.
I don't wanna talk to the PBIS committee until we get it approved.
Yeah, but once we get it approved, and let's say the music is the thing, we need to be able to address teacher questions, like, well, what if they start using it during lunch and they think they can do it in my class, and stuff like that, so kind of thinking in the perspective of teachers.
just how do we sell it to teachers too?
Emily Martinez, come to the front office. Emily Martinez, come to the front office.
I think this is the most I've had intercoms up here,
She's got a track or something.
yeah, but
Maybe
that was,
maybe just 8th grade.
but then at this, well, 8th grade is our target, but I don't want us to focus so much on 8th grade that 6th grade or 7th grade slips.
6th grade will not slip,
You don't think so?
but 7th,
But if anything, we already got this plan rolled out. If it works, we can just
yeah.
put it to 7th grade.
Right.
Because if we want
Or
to
we
get
can do
anywhere
another
close,
version of it for 7th and 8th that that excludes some of the privileges that they really don't need to be
we can.
partaking.
I know we already passed the incentive, but we can even work with the kids who have mentors and figure out what they can do, like hide their mentor, or dunk their mentor, or something that they can do. Because as a mentor, we're always like, we need our grades up, we need to do this, we need to do that, and something that shows them like, hey, that was my time to get you.
Yeah.
But I think we did a really good job. I will meet with Mr. Clark tomorrow, and then we go from there, and then we'll set a date for PBIS and roll this out. But ultimately, I would want to get 8th grade, and I do not want you to do it by yourself. That is my main goal. That is like the goal, underneath the goal.
Sounds good.
But I think we can get it done.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it,
It's just we need something different.
yeah.
Jeans is not working for everybody.
Agreed.
And maybe one day we can actually sit with.
Should we get rid of the attendance?
uh,
The jeans?
I don't think so. I think with the
Okay.
6th grade, I would say just build up with it.
How does
Because
she
if
do
you
that?
look at it, if this does play a
Does
factor,
anybody really care?
I listen. I make a big deal in my first period class. I'm like, you guys need to be here because I want to wear jeans.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's on my 7th grade too.
And so, but at the same time,
I just didn't know how that was. I just didn't want to make the announcement.
I don't know how much they care about it, but I tell them like, I want jeans.
if this incentive program works, then it becomes more of a competition.
Yeah.
Like really 6th grade, reach out again, like kind of thing. So I think we should need to keep it and add more to it because attendance is like, whatever, I'm not gonna be here. You're gonna put it on Google Classroom anyway, so.
Yeah.
If it ends up being only 8th graders, I don't think that's the end of the world. I mean,
Yeah.
They earned
Yeah.
out of the class.
And if it starts to stray and we have the plan, we have the approval, all we do is just push it down to 7 and 6. But thank you so much for staying. I know
No
you're
problem.
very busy. I really do appreciate it, and I'm really excited of
It's beneficial.
meeting
Yeah. I
because
think
we
it'll-
need it.
Oh,
Thank you for calling this meeting.
yes. Thank you, Zamora.
Appreciate it.